It's August now, and I know this time of year, for some reason, I start wanting comfort food. And so I think of things like vegetable soup and chili, but I also think of different breads that are really hearty and just comfort me. And so I decided to make my mother's banana bread recipe. So I'm going to show you all the ingredients you'll need. You need a half a cup of butter, 1 cup of white sugar, 2 eggs, we're going to beat these, 2 large or 3 small bananas. To me these are small, so I use 3, 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon baking soda, a half a cup, I like walnuts for my banana bread, so this is a half a cup of walnuts, a half a teaspoon of vanilla, and then we're going to put a half a teaspoon of vinegar into a 1/4 a cup of milk. So you have 1/4 a cup of milk, and so that, first of all, you're going to preheat your oven. My oven is preheated to 325. So we are going to take, if you see me glance over at the recipe, it's because I'm just glancing at my mom's recipe. Okay, so you're going to take a half a teaspoon of you're going to take a half a teaspoon of vinegar and put it in your 1/4 cup milk. And then we're just going to set this to the side. Just leave it like that and just set it there for later when we'll need it. And now you are going to squash your bananas. And if you're letting your kids help, which I have let my kids help with this part in the past, they like to squash the bananas. I know that with my mom, I always like to squash the bananas. So I'm just going to open all of them. And then we're going to mash them well. Okay. This is a good time also, if you have some bananas that are turning brown, you can use those in here. A lot of people buy the markdown bananas from the grocery store. They do have markdown on fruit, and it's great to use those bananas in recipes. So right now we're just going to set those to the side. We are going to cream the butter and sugar. So we have our half a cup of butter and our 1 cup of sugar, and we're going to go over to the mixer here. And my butter has been sitting out at room temperature for about an hour, to be honest, because butter takes a while. This is regular,
it's real butter, it's not margarine.
Real butter, and so it takes a while to soften. And I'm going to pour the sugar right in. And while that is creaming, I'm going to take my 2 eggs here. And I'm just going to beat those. That's good enough for me. Now I'm going to add these to this. Should probably scrape down the sides. Okay, now I can go ahead and add my eggs. And beat that again. Okay, to that, we are going to add our mashed bananas. This is our milk and vinegar mixture. And you see it got clumps in there. Yummy clumps. And this is our 2 cups of flour. And I'm going to put it all in there. let this go very slow, just like this, until it's mixed in a little bit, and then we'll turn it up. To this, you also want to add your baking soda. So I have my teaspoon, and I always let the box help me with this part. I'm sure that's what that's for. And this is 1 teaspoon. Put that in there, and I can turn this up now. And in just a minute, I'll scrape that down. Okay, let me scrape it down just one quick time. It actually looks pretty good. This is the consistency that it's supposed to be. And now you're really to the end part. You want to add your 1/2 cup of walnuts, and these are halves and pieces, so I just took my rolling pin and rolled over the bag a couple times, because when I get a piece of banana bread, I like every piece to have nuts in it. You do not have to use nuts. Nuts are completely optional. And we're gonna add our 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla to this. Okay, and now we're gonna mix this up just a little bit because it doesn't need much. Okay. Now we're gonna go over to our baking dish, and a lot of people use the spray, and spray is fine in my opinion. Spray, let me get a knife out of here. Spray is perfectly fine, but with bread, I really worry about breads sticking to the edges. So I always use my finger, and I always just do it like this. And you want to make sure you get it in all the little corners, all the little edges, because if there's a place for that bread to stick, it will stick. Okay, so you can see how well I got it. And now you just want to take your mixture here. Okay, and you'll see how thick it is. And you just pour it right in there. Now, I like to just smooth out the top a little bit. I don't do anything fancy with it at all. Just need to see how long it needs to cook for
1 hour.
1 hour. So 325 for 1 hour. I will set my timer and we'll check back. It looks good to me. It's done. It doesn't jiggle when I move the pan. So I'm just gonna lay it here to the side and let it cool off a little bit, and then in just a little bit we'll cut us a piece. Well, it shouldn't come as any surprise to anybody that I've only waited probably 15 minutes on this, because I like to eat my banana bread warm. So if I didn't eat it right now out of the oven, then I would just want to heat it up in the microwave anyway. I also like some butter, and I like this butter because it spreads so easily. You take it straight out of the refrigerator, and it's so good to have that warm bread and that cold butter. It's just a good combination. So I'm just gonna cut a slice of this, and you could take the whole thing out of the pan if you were gonna give it away and wrap it up or something, but I'm not doing that. This is for us, so I'm just gonna cut a slice. Now the hard part is getting it out of here. Especially the first piece. So you can see it's still steaming, but it looks wonderful. It's cooked perfectly through. So I'll try it without butter, but I know I'm gonna want the butter. I got a big walnut in that bite. I haven't had real banana bread in so long. You know, Kevin and I review the bars and things like that have the banana flavor, but to actually have a piece of homemade hot banana bread, that's wonderful. So now I'm gonna put some butter on it. This is how I normally eat it, and I don't count calories when I'm eating the banana bread. So this is how I like it. That's so good. You get the flavor of the bananas once again. You get the walnuts. I like edge pieces anyway. I love, like in a loaf of bread, a lot of people hate the heel, is what we call it, the heel of the bread. A lot of people hate the heel. I love the heel. I'm so glad that Kevin and Ashley don't like the heel, because that means I get it at the front of the loaf and the back of the loaf. So this is an awesome recipe. Once again, this was my mom's, and so this is just how we've always made it. You don't have to use any walnuts at all if you don't want to, but this is wonderful for breakfast or heat it up later in the day with your coffee in the afternoon, which is what I'm getting ready to do, is have a cup of coffee with this. So hopefully you enjoyed watching me make this, and maybe you can try it. If you do try it, let me know in the comments that you tried it and that it worked out for you too, because nothing would please me more than to know that this helped somebody. So thanks for watching.